One of the more interesting topics in election law refers not on the qualifications, the prohibitions relating to candidates, or on matters of activities relating to the election day proper, but much of the issues that linger and is given great interest by the public and by law practitioners come from the cases emanating from elections. These are election contests and issues. Sometimes, it while the election has been over, cases pertaining to that same election may still have lingered for a year or two, or maybe even more. Um, there is really a need to understand this election contest and issues for us law students, and of course for the public who wants to be more effective in public discourse. No, this is your part 8 of your lecture on election law. For my students, this is your review material or preview, but for the public, this may be of great interest for you who are interested in the matter of law, specifically election law. There are so many election issues that are allowed under our current system. Some of them have been discussed in previous lectures, and some of them may be included in this table. It is worth to note that it is crucial for you to know what these election cases or contests or issues are, because you have to know who can file them, the parties in interest, where to file them, jurisdiction, the purpose of the filing, and the time of filing. Some of the cases that you may have encountered, proclamation controversies or whatnot, you may have read them to have been dismissed because they have been filed out of time, or election protest filed by the wrong parties, which result to the dismissal of these cases. So mahalaga na alam mo yung remedy mo at saka kung kailan mo siya in-invoke, ano, and in what proper forum. So, um, first up is pre-proclamation controversy. Ito yung sinasabi nila na uh, mga cases that come before the proclamation proper after canvass, no? Once proclamation has been made, the case no longer is fit for a pre-proclamation matter, no? So a pre-proclamation controversy refers to any question pertaining to or affecting the proceedings in the Board of Canvassers, which may be raised by any candidate or by any registered political party or coalition of political parties before the board, or directly with the commission, the COMELEC, or any matter raised in sections 233 hanggang 236 in relation to the preparation, transmission, receipt, and custody of the an appreciation of election returns. So, um, this might include not mathematical, not mathematical reckoning, but assessment, the evaluation of the circumstances of the canvassing, no? And related matters, no? So these are the issues which are raised during pre-pro controversies: the illegal composition or proceeding of the Board of Canvassers, the canvassed election returns are incomplete, contain material defects, appear to be tampered with or falsified, or contain discrepancies in the same returns or in other authentic copies thereof. The election returns were prepared under duress, coercion, intimidation, or any obviously manufactured, and they are obviously manufactured and unauthentic. When the substitute or fraudulent returns in controverted polling places were canvassed, the results of which materially affected the standing of the aggrieved candidate or candidates. It has something to do with the returns, which were in themselves defective. No? Defective. There are prohibited issues in jurisprudence. We may want to visit these cases to understand that some of these cases really do not fall in the matter relating to pre-proclaim controversies. They may be election protest. It could be pro quo warranto, or whatnot, no? Maybe even disqualification. No? So those cases do not belong to pre-proc controversies. So um, to understand this better, you have to remember that there is no pre-proclamation cases relating to the preparation, transmission, receipts, custody, and appreciation of the election returns for officers of the president, vice president, senator, members of the House of Reps. Um, but this does not preclude matters concerning the illegal composition or proceeding of the Board of Canvassers, other than the illegal composition or proceedings of the Board of Canvassers. There is no pre-pro controversies for these national office officers. That's why if you have experience in assisting during elections, kapag si congressman na ang nabilangan na napakataas na boto, um, the proclamation subsequently happens, no? So the proclamation happens then and there, hindi na hinihintay na umakyat pa, it happens there and then, no? For president, well, um, the canvassers naman are the Congress, no? So no pre-pro controversies there. What we are saying here is that your remedy might not be a pre-pro controversy, but an electoral or election contest that follows after the proclamation. For local positions, however, RA 7166 reaffirms that pre-pro cases are allowed for provincial, city, and municipal offices. And the grounds are those listed in Section 243 of the Omnibus Election Code. You might want to visit those grounds. The jurisdiction of pre-pro controversies, the Commission, the COMELEC, shall have exclusive jurisdiction of all pre-pro controversies. It may be motu proprio or upon written petition, and after due notice and hearing. They may order the partial or total suspension of the proclamation of any candidate, elect, or annul partially or totally any proclamation if one has been made, as the evidence shall warrant in accordance with the succeeding section, section 243. We'll have that later. So the decision or the proceedings in pre-proc are summary because of the nature of elections. The issues must be resolved immediately, and the proceedings are cramped up with the deadlines for the resolutions, timelines for taking up remedies are strictly followed under the law. So, in the case of Abella versus Larrabal, the Supreme Court said, it is the policy of election law that the pre-proclamation controversies be summarily decided, consistent with the law's desire that the canvass and proclamation be delayed as little as possible. There is no room for the presentation of evidence aliunde, the inspection of voluminous documents, and the meticulous technical examination. That is why such questions as those involving the appreciation of votes, the conduct of campaign, and balloting, which require more deliberate and necessarily longer considerations, are left for the examination of the corresponding electoral protest. So kung ano the issues kasi could be resolved immediately. Those that cannot be resolved may be subject to election protest. You might want to look at how you raise matters relating to pre-proc. The petitions are very simple, usually during elections because of the urgency of the filing of the pleadings. What election lawyers do is that they bring with them templates so that they can fill the templates up in writing lang, in handwritten form, so that it may be submitted immediately. So, on the matter of reconsideration, appeal, and finality, according to Section 8 of the Constitution, Article 6C, um, uh, the COMELEC may sit and bank or into divisions, and they shall promulgate, etc., etc., including pre-proc controversies. All such election cases shall be heard. Since pre-proc is en banc or in division, all such cases shall be heard and decided in division, provided that motions for reconsideration and decisions shall be decided by the Commission on en banc. So the general rule is in division, but reconsiderations shall be en banc. Unless otherwise provided by the Constitution or by law, uh, each commission may be, the decision of each commission, including the COMELEC, may be brought to the Supreme Court on certiorari. So the remedy is certiorari. So before the commission also, the proceedings are considered as summary. That's according to BP 881. So in Rio versus COMELEC, for prepro controversies, the court delineated or clarified the role of the COMELEC, said that the Supreme Court held that the COMELEC cannot be compelled by a writ of mandamus to open and recount ballot boxes. That will not be already prepro, kasi it will then supersede the proclamation, no? Kasi maraming boto yan and you have to interpret each ballot, especially kung manual voting yan. The court emphasized that recounting physical ballots require exercise of COMELEC's discretion and judgment, meaning it is not a mere ministerial duty. This reinforces the long-standing rule that pre-pro controversies must rely on the face of the election returns, demanding a manual recount of ballots generally elevates the case to a full-blown election protest, as I said earlier. So it's not ministerial. It's discretionary for COMELEC to do that. And for COMELEC to count or manually evaluate the votes, it's not anymore looking at the face value of the votes. It may allow a protracted trial, no? Election contest, which will take time and will supersede the proclamation. So what is this thing that we call election protest? This is where the candidate files an election protest based on allegations of anomalies during the voting or counting or canvassing thereof. In the case of Samad versus Comelec, Supreme Court said such is a contest between the defeated and the winning candidate on the ground of fraud or irregularities in the casting and counting of ballots and the preparation of the returns. It raises the question of who obtained the plurality of the legal votes and therefore is entitled to hold office. So it's who actually won. Who actually won. The purpose is to ascertain whether a candidate proclaimed by the board of canvassers is the lawful choice of the people. So that is the primary intention of the proceedings. The grounds are simple. According to Natura, it's fraud, terrorism, irregularity, or illegal acts committed by, before, during, or after the casting and counting of votes. So kung tanawan mo, if you look at it, it encompasses many things. It encompasses many things. Fraud is there are so many ways of committing election fraud. There are so many ways of committing terrorism. So many ways where irregularity could be discovered or committed. And there are so many ways where you can cause illegal acts or commit illegal acts during or after the counting of even before elections. So whose jurisdiction? It's the electoral tribunals for the national offices. You have administrative matter 1041 SC, or the 2010 rules of procedure for municipal election contest by the court. No? Issued by the Supreme Court to guide the RTCs and NTCs in handling local protests. You also have as the basis for the jurisdiction the COMELEC rules of procedure, no? Parts 5 and 6. They govern election protest and of course co-warranto before the commission, because it is the COMELEC which has jurisdiction to take cognizance of appeals from the decisions of the RTC in election contest involving municipal officials. Then it is also the Commission on Elections which has jurisdiction to issue writ of certiorari in aid of its appellate jurisdiction. No? So COMELEC, so for the national offices, it's clear, the HRET, SET, and PET. But for the local offices, it's the COMELEC which has the jurisdiction for the appeal from the court, no? From the court, because these contests are governed by the rules, the AM Administrative Matter 1041 SC for the RTCs and MTCs for election protests or for of municipal elections, no, or for the local elections. Um, can anybody just be a party to electoral contest? No, not even if you invoke that you are a voter, because your right to suffrage extends up to the right to your voting per se generally. Sabi ng Supreme Court, it is too much to stretch for the court to hold that the constitutional right to suffrage encompasses the supposed right of the sovereign electorate in a locality to have an entire election conducted there at fully and manually recounted based on an unsubstantiated conjectures, no? So labas na um, yun sa right ng isang botante. The primary right of a voter is to vote, but to have more than that, they leave it to the right partisan interest. Quo warranto is a proceeding defined as an action against a person who usurps, intrudes, or uh, unlawfully holds office or exercises a public office. This is the definition in the case of FPJ versus COMELEC. The jurisdiction, um, well, for petitions for quo warranto, in Section 253, the Omnibus Election Code says that any voter contesting the election of any member of Congress, regional, provincial, and city officer on the ground of ineligibility or disloyalty to the Republic of the Philippines shall file a sworn petition for quo warranto before the COMELEC 10 days after the proclamation. For the barangay, says that any municipal or barangay, any voter contesting on the ground of ineligibility or disloyalty shall file a sworn petition for quo warranto with the court itself, either MTC or RTC as the case may be, within 10 days after proclamation. This matter was enhanced by um, um, Rule 36, no, of the COMELEC rules for of procedure, wherein section Rule 36 thereof, Section 2 says that a voter contesting the election of any municipal or official on the ground of ineligibility or disloyalty may file a petition for quo warranto with the RTC. For the barangay, municipal election, sorry, municipal and the barangay official, it's before the regular courts also. As guided by, again, as I said, the earlier rule I mentioned. Sa National Post, the Constitution provides that the quo warranto proceedings, as I mentioned earlier, for the National Post are with the electoral tribunals, the PET, the SET, or the HRET, as the case may be. Okay? Because the new constitution, the 87 constitution, recovered or took away from COMELEC such a power. COMELEC has no longer the jurisdiction over quo warranto petitions against members of Congress and the president. No? So it's they are the sole judge of such election contestant returns and qualifications. Kaya quo warranto. It's a distinctions. Quo warranto is a proceeding generally defined as being an action against a person who usurps, intrudes into, or unlawfully holds or exercises a public office. While an election protest, on the other hand, is a contest between the defeated and the winning candidate on the ground of fraud or irregularities. So, yung isa, qualification, the authority of the person who usurps, intrudes, or holds office contrary to law, no? Because he has no such a qualification. While an election protest refers to fraud or irregularities. So, ang tanong is, sa quo warranto is between who actually, pag election protest is who actually won the votes. Pag quo warranto is, why are you there? Are you eligible for this office? It's the case of Texon versus COMELEC again. Petition for disqualification. Any candidate who does not possess the qualifications of a candidate as provided for by the Constitution, or by existing laws, or who commits any acts declared by law to be grounds for disqualification may be disqualified from continuing as a candidate. COMELEC rules of procedure. The party in interest is any citizen of voting age or any registered political party, organization, or coalition of political parties. The period is any day after the last day of the filing of the certificate of candidacy, but more than, not later than the date of proclamation. So this is before this is proclamation. So where the law department of the COMELEC and its summary also. There's this case of Guzman Lara versus COMELEC. Actually here, sinasabi na nagkamali yata ng, uh, well, actually, this is a general rule, no? For all election cases, be mindful of the deadlines for filing because a lapse of the period for filing will result to the dismissal of your cases. Okay. Annulment of election results. This may come as an effect of some of the previous grounds, or by siguro this you could also relate with annulment of a proclamation. For this, you read Marcos versus Robredo. The power to annul an election should be exercised with greatest care as it involves the free and fair expression of the popular will. It is only in extreme cases of fraud and under circumstances which demonstrate to the fullest degree a fundamental wanton disregard of the law that elections are annulled, and then only when it becomes impossible to take any other step. Okay. The jurisdiction, well, read this case of Babayan versus HRET. This is the clash between the power of the HRET and the COMELEC. The power of HRET to annul elections differ from the power granted to the COMELEC to declare a failure of elections. Those are two different things. So I hope you learned from this video. I will be posting another video for election FAQs, and maybe because there are some matters that I may have failed to take into consideration from previous lectures, I will include them in the next slide to sweep up what we may have neglected in the previous lectures. Again, this is Attorney Edgar Pasqua, and thank you for viewing. I hope you learned something from this lecture.